So welcome in. Happy, what's today? Wednesday, everybody. So this week we're talking about exercise and the different modalities and which exercise is best for you. And Monday I did a deep dive into cardiovascular exercise and where your heart rate should be. And then yesterday I kind of dove a little bit into the strength training. But like I said, I couldn't, I had no voice. So I will go over all of it again today. So Teresa, you'll at least get a good earful today, but I'll load up yesterday's. I didn't see it. So
Okay,
I know I
super.
loaded it, but it takes a while. It has to, at first it has to convert, and then I have to save it to my computer and name it, and then I can load it up to the Facebook group. And it takes a while to load up. So I don't know what happened to it. Anyway,
Okay.
does
I'll keep
anybody,
watching.
what?
I'll keep watching. In the meantime, I'll get today's info.
Awesome. All right. So does anybody have any awesome shares for this week?
I do. I started on Monday and I've lost 4 pounds already.
Whoa. You just started this last Monday?
Yeah,
Congratulations. That's awesome.
thank you. Yeah, I'm
That's
very
really
happy.
awesome.
I can't even believe it, but I never can lose weight easily, so I'm very happy.
Oh, very, very good. Well, I'm happy you're here, and that's a great way to start. Sometimes weight loss can happen a little bit quick in the beginning, but if it slows down to
Yeah.
1 to 2 pounds a week, you guys are doing great. And I get this a lot. I get this all the time, all the time. It's like, oh man, I just thought this was going to go faster. And I'm like, girl, you lost 1.5 pounds last week. And you lost 2
Yeah.
pounds the week before, and you lost 1 pound the week before. You are on track. So I know we want it to go faster, but trust and believe if you're losing 1.5, 2 pounds in a week, you're doing it the healthy way. You're doing it right. And you are, that's an ambitious goal, 2 pounds. So you're already at 4 in just a few days, but
Yeah.
And what I'm excited about, I'm excited. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you, Tammy. What I'm excited about is I'm past the program and I'm maintaining that and still dropping some because of the principles that I've learned. So I'm tickled pink.
That's awesome. Good to hear.
Thank you for sharing that, Teresa, because a lot of people ask what's at the end. A lot of you guys ask, I know I'm putting the cart before the horse, but what do I do at the end? How does this work?
Mhm.
If you guys are on the coaching program, which if you're live on this call, you are, you will book a one-on-one call at the very end when you're at week 11, somewhere in there. Book a call and we'll see where you're at, how far you went, and then we'll decide, well, do you want to go further? Do you want to lose more weight? Or maybe the digestive system is working great now, or maybe it's not there yet. Whatever, wherever you are, then we'll discuss a game plan for what's next. So that's what happens at the end, just so you all know. If I didn't tell you that on the onboarding, that's how that goes. All right, so let me see if I can share my screen here. All right, so we're doing a 3-part fitness series. Oops, go back. Yeah, we're doing a 3-part fitness series. So this week is part 1, and this week we're talking about physical fitness, and the emphasis is really going to be on the exercise piece. Some of you guys have been avid exercisers. Some of you have never really stepped in the gym. It's never really been on your radar. And some of you fall somewhere in between. So today I just kind of want to clear up what's exercise, what's really not, and what to look for and how to progress and how to, keep going. So that is my intention for today and this week. We got our agenda for today. We've got welcomes, shout outs, and funnies. We'll talk about what fitness actually is. We'll talk about the components of fitness, the different types or modalities of exercise. Nutrition is a part of physical fitness, so we'll touch on that a little. And then, why is this even important? Why should you care? And then, of course, we open it up to Q&A. Now, if you have dogs or, people in the background, go ahead and mute your Zoom or your microphone. But it's still a small enough group that if you want to unmute and ask me a question out of the gate, just unmute and ask, because somebody else is probably thinking it too. So don't be shy on that. All right, so here's your funnies. Oh, little housekeeping. I just several three or four this morning alone. I got either the check-in sheet or I got food logs, but it's really helpful to me, and it helps me help you most if I get both the check-in sheet and the food logs on the same day. I'm not naming any names, one of you is here, but it wasn't just you. It's like just several of them this morning were just, and so when I see, okay, the food logs look good, but I have no idea, is it working? Is she losing weight? Is her sleep improving? Is the digestive improving? Did she lose weight? Whatever it is. So the check-in sheet kind of tells me how you're doing, and your journal pages will tell me what you're doing. So once I see the two of them together, then I can best advise you and give you whatever feedback. But if I only have half the story, then I only have half the story. So just wanted to put that out there. I'm not trying to scold. You guys are all adults. You're doing the best you can we have busy lives, I know. So I did want to mention that. Some shout outs. Elizabeth said she can breathe for the first time, because she had so much sinus issues and congestion, and she's in her first week. And she said also her energy is back. So congratulations to Elizabeth. Denise lost 6 pounds. And her sleep is better than it has been in years. So to me, I love good sleep. I know I feel quite a bit different when I get a good sleep. So congratulations to Denise. We have several Candies in the group, but one of them lost 10 pounds in just 14 days. So congrats to you, Candy. Kim says she has no more gas or bloating, and she's finally regular. So this program does work for the gut health. Crystal, this was exciting. Crystal, she can fit into a pair of jeans that she hasn't been able to wear in 5 years. And she was really, really excited about that. So congrats to Crystal. Jen, she said her snoring has improved a lot. Her rings don't fit, they're falling off. And she can also wear her skinny jeans, and she's just gotten started as well. So congrats to you, Jen. And Chris is off one of her blood pressure medications. So that's really awesome. Obviously, those are things all going in the right direction. So congrats to all of you. And if I didn't mention your name and you had some success, there's a lot of people in this program, but so give yourself all a pat on the back just for suiting up and showing up and being here. Excuse me. All right. Okay, so this week we'll be talking about some different topics, but this week is physical fitness. Then we got mental fitness, which will be next week. That's all that mindset stuff. The best piece of fitness equipment that you can use is get your head on straight and get your thinking right and get your perspectives in a different paradigm, looking at your food in a different way and looking at exercise in a different way and looking at meal prep and meal plan and all that stuff that we didn't normally do or don't like to do. Looking at that stuff in a different way will help you be able to do the things that you need to do to get to the next level and to get to that next level of fitness. Spiritual fitness, I am going to make all that make sense. And I will tie it into how it connects to your physical fitness and your mental fitness, is creating that spiritual fitness. It's not a class on religion. It's just how spiritual fitness can help you with your physical and mental fitness. And again, I will make that all connect. I will connect all those dots. And then, of course, there's financial fitness. And guess what? I will not be talking about that this week or any other week, because those are the classes I take. So we all take a course in something that we don't know enough about. Financial fitness is a weaker category for me, so I will let someone else teach you about that. I will not be teaching that category in the next coming weeks. At least I don't think so. All right. All right. So what is physical fitness? It's a state of health and well-being, and more specifically, the ability to perform aspects of sports, occupations, and daily activities. Physical fitness is generally achieved through proper nutrition, moderate to vigorous exercise with sufficient rest and recovery. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right. All right, so there's different components of fitness. We've got cardiovascular endurance. Some people get, huffing and puffing just going upstairs to go to bed. And some people can play an entire game of basketball and without sitting out and still be able to have a conversation. So the more you practice your cardiovascular exercises, the more you're going to build in endurance. When you start out and you're doing something for maybe 2 minutes, and then you add a minute or you add 5 more minutes, and you continually add a little bit of time each time, you will be building cardiovascular endurance. And it's very important, because if all of a sudden we're at the airport and there's an announcement, the terminal has been changed and we need to run across the airport, we don't want to be huffing and puffing. We want to be able to get that terminal, because we want to go to Costa Rica and we want to see the rainforest and do all those fun, wonderful things. So cardiovascular endurance is one of the components. Body composition. Body composition, I put a body fat percentage chart for you. So if you kind of want to look for your age, your gender, and then your age, and then look across, you might see the number that's, you want to look in the normal zone. You don't want to be too low, but we don't want to be too high. High body fat composition. The body fat, especially if it's around the middle area, guess what? That's where all of our vital organs are. And so when we have a lot of body fat in the middle of the body, it can strangulate and suffocate the vital organs, and that's what ages us. And that's what causes problems within those vital organs. So if you want to take a screenshot of that. Otherwise, if you want to send me an email, not a text, but an email, I have a handout. I can just send it to you, and you can print it out so you can kind of look at that and aim for the numbers. If you have a scale at home that measures body fat, that's great. If you don't, it's not that big of a deal. It is one of the questions on the check-in sheet, but if you don't know it or your scale doesn't measure that, it's fine. But sometimes body composition or body fat is important, because a lot of times the scale stops moving. But if you're noticing that your clothes are getting looser, that means your inches are shrinking down. Or if your body fat on the scale is going down, then we know that number is going in the right direction. There's 3 ways to know if you're in plateau. One is the scale, the actual weight, but the other is body fat, and the other is your circumference or your inches. So that's just a piece of the puzzle that you might want to get a scale that measures that. Flexibility is another important piece of your components. Muscle strength, that's real important. You want to be able to pick up that grandchild. You want to be able to pick up that suitcase, being able to pick up that bit heavier bag of groceries, or only maybe making 1 trip, so you're carrying several bags. The stronger you are, the heavier things that you can lift, which makes it easier, which makes your all the household chores, or like I said, grocery shopping, or carrying your suitcase, or doing the fun things that we do, carrying the bowling ball if you're going bowling. We want to have muscle strength. It's very, very important. Muscle endurance, same thing, only different. So how long can I do this thing? So if I'm, playing pickleball and my arm gets really tired after just 5 minutes, my muscle endurance is quite low. But as I learn to play and I play longer and longer and longer, I'll be able to swat at that ball for an hour or an hour and a half or 2 hours. I know some of my clients play for a couple hours at a time, and God bless you, that's not easy. But you want to be able to do whatever it is that you're doing for longer periods of time, and that's what muscle endurance is. And then this one is very important just for life and just for safety and just to keep yourself from getting hurt or injured. You want to have speed, agility, being able to move out of the way. If something's coming at you, you need to get out of the way. And you need to be able to do it fast. Balance, if you go out of the, you're trying to get out of the way of something coming at you and you don't have good balance, then we fall down. Coordination, same thing. Reaction time, very obviously, as we age, it's important for driving. It's important for any activities that we're doing. We want to stay active. Hopefully we want to get out there, play a little pickleball or bowling or kayak or, hiking and doing all these things. But if we step on a rock and we don't have balance or coordination or agility, we'll fall down, and that causes other injuries. So these are some important components of physical fitness. All right, so today I really want to break down the different types of exercise. We've got cardiovascular exercise. We've got strength training. We've got high intensity interval training. And we have flexibility. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right in and break those down. All right, so cardiovascular exercise is basically anything that gets your heart rate up. If your heart rate is coming up, it's a cardiovascular exercise. It might be doing yard work, which doesn't seem like exercise, but if it's getting your heart rate up, you are working your heart and your lungs, which is a wonderful thing. Bike riding, swimming, hiking, dancing, jogging, jump roping, rebounding. Anything that gets your heart rate up. And this is an important one because a lot of times on that check-in sheet that I'm looking for each week, one of the questions is, tell me about your activity. And it's very, 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 very common. All I get is walking. And that's good. There's nothing wrong with walking, especially if you're doing it outside and you're getting vitamin D from the sunshine. But is your heart rate coming up? And a lot of times they'll even admit they're walking their dog. So if it's a dog that stops and sniffs every single bush or every single rock or every single tree, the likelihood that you're getting your heart rate up and getting any kind of cardiovascular exercise is a little bit slim. So nothing wrong with walking your dog or walking with, your neighbor or your husband or your family or whoever. But are you getting your heart rate up is the main question, because that determines, is it exercise or is it just getting outside and getting some fresh air? So what I want you guys to try to aim for and track yourself if you can. It's kind of fun, and you can watch yourself improve. So if you take 180 and you minus out your age, that would be your target heart rate for a fat burning zone. So 180, if for someone who's 60 years old, that's going to leave you at 120. So you want to aim to get your heart rate up to 120. Some of you might not be able to get there out of the gate. Some of you may be able to exceed that. Either way, if you're tracking it, it's just a way of knowing whether you're actually getting exercise or not. Because again, I do get walking as a form of exercise or not. And I don't know if you're pushing your luck, if you're walking uphill or going at a faster pace. So some of the benefits of cardiovascular exercise. It burns calories right here, right now. You know, a lot of you guys are here for weight loss, so you want to burn some extra calories. It's really great for that. So you get on something and you're getting that heart rate up, you're going to burn a lot of good extra calories. It's really, 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 really important for your heart and your lungs. If we sit in a lazy boy chair all day, every day, or, you know, like me, I'm sitting in this chair, I'm talking on the phone all day or on Zoom all day. I got to get up and I dance for my cardio. So that's a lot of fun. But it gets my heart rate up. And also, so my heart, which is also a muscle, it gets some exercise because I'm bringing it up to, and I wear my smartwatch so I can check my heart rate while I'm dancing. I tell it I'm dancing, and then, so it tells me my heart rate and all of that. But also your veins, your arteries, when your heart's pumping a bunch more times, because you're aiming for 120 or whatever your number is, whatever your target heart rate is. The heart has to beat faster to pump more blood because each and every muscle and cell needs more oxygen and more nourishment. So those veins and arteries have to stretch out. So otherwise, the heart has to work way too hard. So when we're exercising in cardiovascular, they can stretch out so way more blood can get through, and those muscles can receive all of the oxygen and nutrients that they can. So that keeps them elastic. And then you stop exercising and they shrink down to a normal size. Great. And then we exercise again, you know, tomorrow or the next day, and we stretch it out. If we never exercise our cardiovascular system, the veins get very hard. It's called hardening of the arteries. You know, it's sedentary lifestyle can cause that. And now if you do try to climb up the stairs, or you do go on a hike, or you do have to run through that airport or doing something that's going to get your heart rate up, you're going to be huffing and puffing in just a few seconds because the blood cannot get through because those veins and arteries are too hard. So the cardiovascular is very important for just overall quality of life. It's also excellent for detoxifying. As you know, when we sweat, we're releasing toxins. That's kind of an obvious one. And of course, that's great. And by the way, when you're done exercising, if you can shower right away, that's great. Otherwise, take a towel. If you go to a gym, a lot of gyms offer a towel, and wipe your sweat off of your body because your body can reabsorb those toxins. But also, when you're doing cardiovascular exercise, you're also breathing heavier. Think about that. Every time you exhale, those are toxins coming from your lungs. Every time we exhale, it's a toxin. I always mix them up, carbon monoxide or dioxide, whichever one comes out of our lungs. Not the one that comes out of our car, but the one that comes out of our lungs. But it's a toxin. Our body needs to get rid of it. So by breathing extra, you're detoxifying. By sweating extra, you're detoxifying. So it's a great way to release a lot of those toxins. Also, getting your heart rate up, it's going to push more blood through. More blood goes through, you're getting more circulation, more oxygen, and more minerals and vitamins and nutrients, which goes to every single cell in your body. So it's really important. And that's what causes healing. There's no healing if there's no blood flow. So the more times we can get that blood flow going at a nice, good pace, like cardiovascular, it's going to help with healing. Someone has a question in chat. Carbon monoxide. Thank you. I knew it was going to be you that answered.
No, that's what the car is.
Is that the car one?
I put that. I said carbon monoxide, breathing carbon dioxide. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I read that.
Put them both there.
So Carmon breathing D. How do we put a hook into that to remember it?
Well, mono is singular, so it's just one oxygen to carbon, and breathing is two oxygens, and so just like that makes sense because
Okay.
you're
Okay,
exhaling.
so inhale and exhale is a breath. That's 2 for dioxide. There's the hook. So inhale, exhale, that's 2. And it's di for 2 dioxide. All right, I got it. Thank you for that, guys. Takes a village around here. Also, you might notice that you do get better sleep on days you do your cardiovascular exercise. So track that as well and see if you don't notice a better sleep. Oops. All right. So that is the cardiovascular exercise, the benefits. So strength training, what's the deal with that? Well, what will happen is you will build lean body mass, or AKA more muscle. And guess what? That's super, super, super important, because the more lean body mass you have, the faster your metabolism goes. So you guys are on this program, and a lot of you are on a calorie deficit because you are looking for the weight loss. The only way not to lose lean body mass during a calorie deficit is to get enough protein and to get your strength training. So you want to make sure you get both. All right. So, and the other thing too about strength training is it speeds up your metabolism. So I was just talking about cardio. You get on a treadmill, or you do some jump rope, or you do your rebounding, or you go for your hike or dance or whatever you're doing. And during that 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, you're burning more calories. Your metabolism is moving much faster. But once you step off that dance floor, or once you step off that treadmill, or you step off that rebounder, or step off that mountain, your body will slowly go back to its old, slower version of itself, the metabolism. When you build lean body mass up, your metabolism is naturally going to speed up 24 hours a day. So even while you're sleeping, you're going to be burning more calories when you have more lean body mass. This is why men tend to lose weight so much faster than the women, because they naturally, because they're higher in testosterone, they naturally have more muscle. So all they got to do is look at the gym and they gain the muscle. We look at a donut, we gain the weight. But strength training can also boost testosterone in us women as well, which is a good thing, because that can help with libido and also building lean muscle. Yeah, just somebody had some background. Anyways, all right. Next up. So also strength training, when we build lean body mass, the belly fat tends to be the one that goes down. Now in menopause, when we kind of get bigger around the middle, and that's normal. Part of the reason for that is estrogen is stored in our fat cells as women. And when we go through menopause, we're not having as much estrogen. Our hormones are all kinds of wacky and off. So the body's looking for more estrogen. So it starts making more fat cells because it knows it's in the fat cells. It's not made in the fat cells, it's just stored. But the body will make more fat cells while we get bigger around the middle. But strength training can help reduce that back down. So do not skip your strength training. Also, you will gain strength, obviously, if you're lifting weights, and muscle endurance. So if you do higher repetitions, so if you're doing a bicep curl with like a 7-pound weight and you get all the way to 20, now you're building endurance. If you have like a 12-pound weight, you might only get to 12 or 15, and then you're done, and then you're tired. So either way, they're not wrong, but one of them is going to build you more strength, and one of them is going to build you more muscle endurance. And we need both for quality of life. So sometimes you want to go lighter weights and higher repetitions, and sometimes go big or go home. Lift as heavy as you can. Don't start off with the heaviest weight. Don't hurt yourself. And if you're not sure about all that, get a trainer. or take a class and sit in the front of the class and tell the teacher you're brand new and tell the teacher you're willing and open to suggestions or corrections, because that's like getting a free trainer. There, if you're right in front, if you're brand new and you want to sit in the back of the class, that's very common. And I've been a group exercise teacher, and so I saw that a lot. But if you're new, as scary as it is, go in the front and introduce yourself to the teacher and tell her you're open to suggestions. So she will come over and help you correct your form, which is important. Also, strength training helps increase bone density, which we need as we age. This is very, very, very important. And like I said, when we build that lean body mass, we're burning calories, more calories, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's really important. So what is strength training? It's free weights like the lady in the picture. There's machines like in the gym. If there's cable machines, there's resistance bands. You could use your own body weight, like squats or push-ups or lunges or crunches or plank or side plank or pull-ups, body weight. That's another, don't need any equipment for that. Bar class, yoga, and Pilates are all primarily, now your heart rate will come up. I'm not saying it won't come up because it has to come up. Your muscles are demanding, they need more nourishment, they need more oxygen, and they need that blood in there. So the heart rate will come up. But bar class, yoga, and Pilates is a great way to get some strength training in. I'm a big fan of yoga. Yoga changed my body. And yoga is what I did primarily right before I got on the stage and took that first place trophy in that bikini competition. So I'm pretty pro yoga, but if you like Pilates better or any of these other things, by all means do that. By the way, in the course in module 5, it's a very, very, very beginner friendly, simple, easy to follow strength training as a beginner. So basically how I have it set up is you put your body in four muscle groups, and you're only going to work one muscle group in a day. So you'll start out with 2 exercises, and in each module, I give you 6 or 8 or several exercises to choose from in that particular muscle group. So every time you come back to that muscle group, you're going to add something. So you might add, so in the beginning, I'm asking you to do 12 repetitions, 3 sets of 12 repetitions of 2 different exercises. So next time I come back to that same muscle group, I might up my repetitions to 16 repetitions, or I might do 4 sets, or I might do heavier weights, or I might add more, a third exercise. So as long as you keep adding something, you will progress and start to get stronger in each of those areas. Does that make sense? All right, so high intensity interval training is more advanced because this one is typically timed. So when you're moving your body faster, you better have your form down right. So like if you're doing a timed high intensity interval training with squats, for example. So if you're going to work for 20 seconds, rest for 10, work for 20, rest for 10. You're going to do as many squats as you can in that 20 seconds. But I just really can't stress enough. I want you to learn how to do a squat in the proper form. So follow along in module 5 in the lower body section. I show you what to look for, what not to do. So how you can make sure you keep your knees safe. So this is just something that you can progress into. The benefit of high intensity interval training is you burn more fat and more calories versus steady state cardio. So it's just a bigger bang for your buck. You're going to burn a lot more calories. You're also working both your cardiovascular and your muscles. So you're getting another bang for your buck. But again, This is something that you'll do once you're proficient in your form of your simple exercises. This particular form of exercises can also increase your human growth hormone, which is your anti-aging, which supports lean muscle, and also testosterone, which also supports lean muscle. And so we want to get that. And it also takes less time. No equipment needed. Sometimes we use equipment like this lady in the picture. She's doing the battle ropes. I don't know if you guys have ever done those before. It is way harder than it looks. It's a lot of fun. It's a challenge, but they're heavy. And then you just kind of do that for, 20 seconds. It's a lot. Did someone have a question? So I use the Tabata app. It's a free app and you can change the settings on it. But traditional Tabata is in the app, it's 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest for 8 cycles, which is 4 minutes. Trust me, if you do battle ropes for 20 seconds and you only rest for 10 seconds and then it buzzes again and you have to start again, by the 3rd or 4th round, you will be huffing and puffing. So 8 rounds might be too much. You can combine different, combine one strength exercise with one cardiovascular exercise. What is the app? The app is called Tabata. It's the bottom bullet in the PowerPoint. Tabata. Hopefully you see that. So in that same 20-second work, 10-second rest, 20-second work, 10-second rest, you could do 20 seconds of squats and then take your 10-second rest and then do like a cardiovascular for 20 seconds and then take your rest and then come back to your squats again and then take your rest and then back to your cardio, take your rest. You can change it. If you're not fit, you're going to need to change your rest time to also 20 seconds or more. If you're brand new, you might need more of a rest. Start where you are, guys. Don't try to be, an Olympic athlete out of the gate if you have been fairly sedentary. Don't expect yourself to be able to climb, Mount Everest on the first day. There are several. The one I use, okay, shoot. Here it is. Let's see. It's this orange one right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like, it's a circle with a T in the middle, and it's almost like it's a stopwatch with a T in the middle. Oops. Oh, it went away. Hopefully you guys can see that. Anyway, there's different ones, try a couple if whatever's easiest to program, because you might need to change your rest time. You may want to do, instead of 8 cycles, only 4 cycles, which would equal only 2 minutes, but that might be enough for you. So this is just and this is really, really, really good for weight loss, but it is not a beginner. You don't want to start with high intensity. I can't stress that enough. And lastly, and very importantly, flexibility training. This is, as a group exercise instructor, I would teach, kickboxing or step class or some kind of aerobic, or some kind of class. And at the end, of course, we always do stretch. And I would see, a couple of people just get up and put their stuff away and walk out the door. And I understand people have jobs and lives and have to go. But the flexibility is very underrated. It's very, very, very important. And I'll tell you, like I said, I'm a fan of yoga, but A lot of the yoga poses are strength training yoga poses, and a lot of the poses are flexibility poses, and a lot of them are both. You're stretching one thing and you're working another. So again, that's why I'm a fan. But flexibility can help prevention of injury. If I'm super tight in my joints and I go to reach for something, I can pull something and tear something. And I do not want to do that. So the more I can practice, stretching my chest or all of the parts, the better off I'm going to be, the better set up I will be for prevention of injury. Obviously, it will improve my range of motion. Oh my gosh, at my gym that I go to, they have a TV and they sometimes show bloopers of people falling, like doing sports activities and then falling. And this one girl, you could tell she was deconditioned. You could tell she wasn't a real athlete, but the way she fell, she did the splits. And I got the impression that she probably couldn't do them yesterday, if you know what I'm saying. So if you fall and you end up in the splits and you're so tight, you will tear something and you will break something. So the more you can practice stretching and gaining more and more and more flexibility, the less chance of injury you have, and it will increase your range of motion. So when you go to do something, you will not tear something. Also, we carry stress in our muscles. When someone gives you a massage and you have these knots, a lot of times it's right up here in your traps. That we have knots, we carry stress in our muscles. So the more we can release that stress from the muscles, the more it releases the stress from the body, the more we're letting go of the cortisol. Cortisol is the fat storage hormone. That's your stress hormone. So the more we can let that go and release it, the better off our belly fat will be, because cortisol is belly fat. That's the one that causes belly fat. And stretching actually does work the muscles. I mean, you don't want to go to the point of pain. You want to go to the point of you feel the good stretch. If you get to a sense of pain, if you're trying to reach for your toes, if it hurts, back off a little bit. If you feel like you can go a little more, take an inhale and then exhale, come into that stretch a little bit more. I think what I'm going to do for tomorrow's group call, if you guys are interested, wear something comfortable. I'm going to just take you through a stretch class. If you guys are interested. I mean, we can talk about whatever, but I think I'll take you through a stretch class. Oh, guess that's it for that. All right, so nutrition, obviously, it's a super important part. Oh, we got another chat. Kathy said yes. Oh, good.
Yeah, I concur. That'd be great.
The stretch class for tomorrow? Perfect. I will definitely do that. So you've heard the 80-20 rule. Exercise is important for all the reasons I just stated in the last 44 minutes. They're all important. We want to be agile. We want to be strong. We want to have endurance. We have range of motion. We want to have all those things. But as far as physical fitness goes, if we're not eating right, you can outrun a bad diet. We just can't outrun a bad diet. So, I used to try that. I tried. I would take a kickboxing class in the morning and I would come back and do strength training in the afternoon and doing all these things. And I wasn't losing any weight because I didn't change my food. I didn't change my diet. But meal planning is just an important piece of that puzzle. And honestly, my meal plan is just always 100% of the time, always have frozen proteins in my freezer and frozen vegetables in my freezer. So in a pinch, I can pull a couple of things out and make myself a lunch or a dinner. So it doesn't have to be elaborate. You don't have to sit down for hours and do it. But just pick a couple of meals that you might make and that you're going to nosh on for the next whatever. Meal prep, that's important. I personally just do that on Sundays. And I set the intention, I only do it for an hour. I pre-chop all of my onions and bell peppers and carrots and celery and any of those kinds of vegetables that are gonna probably go in almost every recipe I make. If I pre-chop those with my mandolin in advance, when I did the meal prep or kitchen hack topic last time, I had the group time me. And oh, I forget how it was it just took a few minutes. It was less than 15 minutes to get baggies of all those things. And then I keep them in the freezer. So even in the morning, if I want to scramble an egg, a couple of eggs, I can throw a small handful of chopped onion in there. And now I just added onion and flavor to my meals. So it makes it super easy. So when I meal prep on Sunday, I don't have to do a whole lot of chopping. I grab however much chopped onions and bell peppers or whatever it is that I'm making. Keeping your portions proper. You want to stay with your half cup of your carbs, no more than 2 times a day, especially if you're in weight loss. If you're an athlete, you're going to need more than that. But if you're not an athlete and you're looking for weight loss, we're just going to stick to 2 half cups max. Protein for the ladies, I'd love to see you get at least 4 ounces of the chicken or fish or seafood. For the guys, closer to 6 ounces. Veggies are on the all-you-can-eat plan. As you guys know, if you've been tracking your calories at all, the vegetables don't add up to much. So you can have as much variety. Get out as many colors as you can. Purple cabbage, red bell pepper, yellow vegetables, orange vegetables, dark green leafy vegetables. Those are on the all-you-can-eat. And a healthy fat at every meal is important as well. Tracking is an eye-opener, and I know you guys don't like to do it. I didn't like to do it when I did it either. And that brings me back full circle. Remember in the beginning, I talked about financial fitness. Well, I took a class, I've taken classes on that, and one of the ones, and it was a great class, excuse me, they had us tracking everything we spent and all the money that came in. And then we had to categorize it, necessity, like your house, your phone, utilities, all of that. And it was a pain in the butt. I did not like it. And so it was a real eye-opener to what I'm asking you guys to do, because I know you guys tracking your calories, you don't want to do it. But it's important. We got to know what we're doing. You can't manage something that you're not tracking. If I own a business, I got to know where my money's going. Am I spending too much money on advertising or payroll or permits, or where's my money going? Where's my money coming from? When I have a sale, am I doing well? Like, you got to track. You cannot manage something you're not tracking. So as a pain in the butt as I know is, it will help me help you guys if I see exactly what you're doing. And it starts to become, you're going to start to eat a lot of the same meals. And once you have the numbers, you just go back to page whatever when you ate that same 2 eggs and an avocado breakfast, whatever. And as I was mentioning, macronutrients, you got your carbs, your fats, your proteins, and of course, vegetables are on the all-you-can-eat. So getting proteins and fats and veggies at every meal, when at all possible, would be ideal. Very important. And lastly, the not so obvious things that we need for physical fitness is hydration. If we are dehydrated, sometimes we mistake that for hunger and we tend to eat more. So being hydrated can help reduce hunger. It will help cleanse the liver, the liver is the only organ in the body that helps metabolize fat. The liver is also going to be responsible for your energy level. So if you're really dragging butt, it might be your liver. If you are angry, it's probably your liver is not too happy. Also, hydration can support good digestion, can support good bowel movements, can increase your exercise capacity. So if you're dehydrated, you're not going to be able to get through a good workout. It helps the body break down fat. It improves your skin. it increases your bowel movements, and it can reduce fatigue. So hydration is just really super important. What do I have here in my notes? Kidneys shut down when we dehydrate, and we can get cramps, headache, tired, weak, confusion, and constipation. So you don't want to be dehydrated. Sleep, the other one, can increase hormone regulation. One night of sleep can mess with your ghrelin and your leptin, which is your hungry and I'm satisfied hormones, and they go together. One night of bad sleep has them all jacked up. And all the studies show that people that only get a few hours of sleep, they want carbs, they want comfort foods, and it's just they're craving a lot of the wrong foods. Got a chat. Boy. Also, rest can improve your metabolism. If we're sleeping between 10 and 2 a.m., I'm sorry, if we go to sleep by 10, we're at a sleep cycle that we want to be between midnight and 2 a.m., which is where the human growth hormone is released. I talked about that helps you maintain lean body mass and your youth. So that's important. Increases metabolism, can increase motivation. I'm not going to go to the gym if I'm tired. And I'm not going to do very well if I force myself to go. I'm not going to be busting chops. I'm just going to be dragging through that. Getting a good night rest is improving my energy. It improves my decision-making. Impulse control. When we're tired, we're cranky, we just say, screw it. I'm going to have a pizza. I'm going to have a donut. It decreases cravings, getting good rest. So these are really, really important pieces of the puzzle. All right, so physical fitness, we've got to exercise, we've got to eat right. Next week, we'll do a deep dive into mindset. So stay tuned for that. And the reason is because we want to be able to go out and do fun things. We want to dance. I'll speak for myself, I suppose, but I want to dance. I want to go kayaking, hiking. A lot of you guys are golfers, pickleball. I see that a lot, or tennis, or skiing, or snowboarding, or things that we do, different things that we do when we travel, playing with our kids or our grandkids, going to festivals and not being so tired and having to sit down every 5 minutes. I'm going to Disneyland, and I bring my mom, and she's actually pretty good. She's, it's been many years now, but if we have to sit down a lot, it kind of takes the fun out of it a bit. Weddings, being able to get up and dance and enjoy and socialize, different kinds of events. So these are the reasons we want to stay healthy and fit. We want a good quality of life. So sometimes we don't feel like exercise, but it is important. It doesn't have to be hours in the gym. It really, really doesn't. Once you get fit, it's just about maintenance. So does anybody have any questions? All right. So does anybody have any thoughts about anything else? Doesn't have to be exercise. Right. So recap, cardiovascular exercise works your heart and lungs. That's very important. It burns calories right here, right now. Strength training eventually builds lean muscle. So turns that dial up on the calorie burning 24/7. So don't skip your strength training. High intensity interval, that's more advanced, but it's going to be a bigger bang for your buck, more calories, and a longer afterburn as well. And then flexibility, super, super important for range of motion and prevention of injury. So that's all I have for you guys today, unless somebody has another question or a concern, something coming up that you want to brainstorm on.
I just have a quick question. In the beginning, are we supposed to be exercising? Because I thought it said not like to wait until day 16 or something. I don't know.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for that question. I didn't mention that. And so great question. And so if you're already an exerciser and it's freaking you out to not exercise because that's your sanity, that's your stress release, go ahead and continue what you've been doing. That being said, when you first start this program, there is likely that you experience a healing crisis, which you can find out, read more about on pages 11 through 14, I think. And you might feel lack of energy, you might have a headache, you might have fatigue, you might have a brain fog, any one of those symptoms on the list. So when you get to the gym, you're like, dang, I don't feel like it. Just give yourself some grace. You can come back to it after you're done with the first cleanse. So I usually recommend get through the first week, the healing crisis, then you're on your cleanse. You're not feeding your body any protein or any, vitamins per se. So get through the cleanse. And then when you get back on regular food, which is day 16, now it's go time. Because by then you're likely over the healing crisis. You're starting to feel better. You're going to have the energy that you need to give it the energy that it requires. And it's all laid out for you as a beginner in module 5. But you can start that on day 16. Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm on I'm on my detox day and I'm like finished my first bottle and I have this much left and I'm like, how am I going to get through the day? So can we do a vegetable broth, tea? What any other ideas?
So what time is it where you're at?
I'm on the West Coast, so
So it's just
noon. It's noon here.
new for you. Okay. So you're still on their first bottle?
Oh no, I finished my first bottle.
So you're already started
this
on
is
your second one?
yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
So you-
I go ahead. I did 15 minutes of HIIT training just because it's so good for you. I was just on a bicycle, so it was no big deal. But that's all I did.
Well, the problem is if you're not getting a lot of calories, the body is very brilliant. It goes into the muscle and it will steal the protein from the muscle and turn it into the gasoline the body needs to keep on going to get through that bicycle workout. So just keep that in mind. We don't want to break lean muscle down. But the answer to your question on broth is absolutely yes. So you want to try to aim to finish your first bottle by around 2 o'clock. And then you start your second bottles from about 2 to about 7. But in between, absolutely have a tea, have an herbal tea. Yeah, like Hillary said in the chat, organic, naturally caffeine free, like mint or ginger or chamomile, never had caffeine. So those are great. But like a chicken broth or a vegetable broth, those are great because it's not sweet and it's not cold and it's not lemony and it's warm and it's salty and it's like, oh, the angels are singing. And that'll help. For me, it was like a sanity thing. It was a psychological, it was a feast.
Right.
So that'll really help. Yeah.
Okay. Wheatgrass would not be something to do or a green drink. No. Like a
If
vegetable.
you're having trouble with the cleanse, I will sometimes graduate someone to plan B, which is a green drink. But if you can tolerate it, if you're not having blood sugar spikes or plummets, or if you're not having a migraine or something bad is not happening, I would say hang in there best you can. And then we'll do green drinks later. Green drinks are great. I'm not against them. But right now, let's just do it as it's prescribed.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Great. I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah. All right. We got some chats. And don't forget your water, your drink. That's right. So you're going to drink your lemonade and then follow it with the water. And yes, you can do a third bottle. If you are an active person and you're feeling lightheaded because your body went through the sugar, too fast because you did the bicycle riding and you need to make a third bottle. Good point, Hillary. I think that was Hillary. Yeah. Yeah, you can make a third bottle if you need. You're still going to be under 1,000 calories, so it's not.
Okay.
So great points, guys. Thanks for the contributions and the questions. Anybody else? All right. Well, I'm so glad you guys are here today. So tomorrow, if you want to come, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, so 8 a.m. West Coast. You guys have to do the math. I don't know. I'm just so happy I can speak. That sound is coming out of my mouth. And I'm talking.
Well,
Yesterday I had, Pardon?
Sorry. I'm sorry about all the background sounds. I didn't know I was unmuted. But I was gonna say, like, after this Sunday, it's gonna, all the times are gonna shift for us, which is gonna be a little bit more difficult, but because you will not move into daylight savings time. So the rest of us, so like Lynn, you'll be on
Starting when?
Tammy's time.
Starting when?
Sunday, this Sunday is daylight savings time, the 9th. So, so it's okay. We just have to understand that Arizona doesn't move. So now she's gonna be in Pacific time. So whatever Coach Tammy's time in is, Lynn, that's you. And now
Okay.
I'll be 3 hours ahead. So just keep in mind, wherever everyone's moving, Tammy's gonna be Pacific time for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. I'd already set up my automated email to remind you guys for the classes Monday, but I gotta do it all over again. I didn't realize time change was happening already. Darn it.
Yeah,
That drives me bonkers because it will ruin the next 2 weeks. I will miss somebody will miss me, and we will be off, and we will be, where were you? I was waiting for you on Zoom. Well, yeah, but I'm not there for another hour. It happens every time.
Well, somebody does your Calendly, it should communicate in their time zone. So hopefully that works. But yeah, that's all happening this Sunday.
Thank
You
you.
Just so that, I want to make sure I understand.
Thanks for
I
that
know I
reminder.
messed this up. I know I messed this up last time, Tammy.
Carmen, what?
When last time we changed the times, I know I missed a couple of meetings because of this issue. So I want to make sure I understand where I'm on the East Coast.
Where do you live,
and
Carmen? Oh, you're East Coast. So Tammy, you're gonna be 3 hours ahead of
It's
me
gonna
as
be,
of
so she'll be like Pacific time to me.
Pacific
Yes,
time.
yes, I
Exactly.
will be the same as Pacific. Which is great because I have family in California, at least I'll be on the same time zone. But for my work and for this, it's gonna be so fun. Said no one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on the East
And-
Coast too, so.
But right
too.
now you're only 2 hour difference.
Right now,
No.
it's 1 o'clock,
Okay, got it.
but you guys are gonna spring forward, so you will be 3 hours ahead.
Right, so
I
you can
will say-
also throw an announcement in the Facebook page too.
I gotta redo the reminder email now and I'm just gonna put Mountain Standard, or I'll put Pacific time.
Pacific.
Yeah. So, all right. Oh, I gotta remind Debbie. Oh,
I mean, it will still be Mountain Standard, but that might confuse people. So you'll still be Mountain Standard, but you'll be Pacific Daylight. So if you just say Pacific time. Or
I gotta
whatever.
tell Debbie because she set up the reminder text. That's what she sets up. I don't know how to do all that stuff.
No,
But
the
it's-
text is fine. Oh, but she'll have to, I mean, people would just have to understand. Yeah, I see. She does organize it all out. So, yeah, because you guys wouldn't be thinking that in Arizona, it's,
No,
I figured.
I just
I'd
didn't
remember.
realize it was already happening. It was just January a second ago. I don't know what happened.
It was just 2020 a second ago.
It's right.
It's
Yeah.
no wonder you don't remember, you don't get that because you're in the time zone where you don't have to change anything.
I think we're the only ones who don't change, and eventually
Yeah,
it's
this
supposed to
is true.
stop. But I think we got another year of it because the
Hawaii.
airports needed to organize the flights. Because they're booked so far out, they can't, so to accommodate airports. But hopefully it ends to where California is the same as me. So I
Yeah.
can be the same as my family.
Yeah, that's where you'll be.
Awesome. All right, I gotta stop the recording.
Okay, thank you.